Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is a recap for this week's growth stocks list that I follow. This is ending week of May 23rd, 2025. As we mentioned in our market recap video, you haven't seen that, please follow that one. We had a pretty negative week, three distribution days, like Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that market is pulling back right now, and so most of them are either at the 10-day or below the 10-day moving average, so slightly. So that's what we're going to use that as a context today. Most stocks that on my list are pulling back to the 10-day, and some of them have already fallen below it. So the question is, what's next, right? Obviously, we're going to see Nvidia earnings this week. That will be a big mover for the tech area. So that's something we'll keep watching. In terms of stocks in uptrend, downtrend right now, based on their short-term moving averages, we see huge rise in downtrend right now. So many stocks have fallen below their short-term moving averages, which is not good because just the wave fall is quite a lot, right? Like for example here, last week we have 80% to 78% in uptrend. This week we came all the way back down to like 17% by Friday. Only 17% of stocks on my list are now in uptrend, and there's obviously 83% or roughly there, because there's some neutral within 1% of the moving average that are in downtrend right now. So and also stocks, obviously because of that, stocks are definitely not making new recent high. So that's another problem. And yeah, so that is where we stand. And so definitely be cautious right now, because the market could fall, accelerate, and fall even further. Because the market actually been falling steadily. We haven't seen like a more than 2% down day, at least on the index. So if we see something like that, that could be a washout, right? That could be a quick shakeout of many people's portfolio holdings, because people will fear and panic and sell. So that's something we'll be watching this coming week. Obviously we have a shortened day on no trading on Monday, but we'll resume Tuesday to Friday here, so we have a short week. Okay, so here's the stock list here. This is the symbol column here. We started tracking this from April 7 low. Now is May 23rd, and we can see the performance gain here for these stocks at the top. HIMS at 97%, but currently is in downtrend, and it hasn't made a high since May 14. So it's been definitely over a week now. More than like 10, closer to 10 days. But it is still sitting at the top based on this pullback. Let's take a quick look here. So here's the hims and hers here. Nice cup base. We have this huge shakeout right here, and then we bounce, but then we didn't make a new high right here at the top, and then we came back down again. Again, the market has been weaker lately, so especially in the last week. So here we see the stock falling, and it is now sitting below the 10-day, and just finding support near the 21-day right there. So that's what's happening with this one, and that because it's below 10-day, that's why it's in downtrend on the tracking spreadsheet here. So we gotta be cautious, because the downtrend line is very steep. And so far, it hasn't been able to come back above this. So and even when it does, we need to see it clear this 10-day moving average. Rank number 2 is Live 360 here, LIF. Like as I mentioned, most stocks should follow the market, which means they're either falling down to the 10-day, or they're just below the 10-day, right? So, but this one, you can see it did pull back to near the 10-day. It never touches it, and then it bounced. And so this to me is a very strong, much showing stronger strength here. So this is something definitely to watch, because I think once the market get out this pullback route, we could be once the market starts to bounce, we could see some of this ones, like this stock, like this one, can bounce quite well, right? So that's something we want to watch. So again, you can see here intraday it gapped down, and it didn't go above the previous day's high, but it came pretty close to it. So that is quite impressive. So we'll see, and it's just the nature of the reversal is just so strong. And that's what I like about it. And also because we never came close to 10 days, so that is a very good sign as well. Okay, just again, just for comparison purpose, like looking at Nasdaq, you see we are below 10 day, right? We did bounce. It didn't close quite at the top. I think it was closing near, let's see. Oh, it doesn't say here. But yeah, it's probably in the, within the, definitely in the upper half. If we look at the 5-minute chart, you can see this drop here. And it did bounce, but it kind of, fall in the last hour or so, right? So it never came, yeah, it never came to previous day high for sure. And this one, it didn't close near where the day before. So yeah, so it's definitely weaker on this index. So we just trying to compare how this compared to the actual stocks, right? If we look at S&P, very similar chart actually. Yeah, it goes near the middle range as well. So next stock we want to look at is Cabana. So this is another one that's showing pretty good strength here. You can see we actually didn't fall on Thursday. That's also quite impressive. And then Friday, we kind of bounced as well. Like we kind of make a higher high. So this pullback is very tight. Like I'm very surprised how tight this pullback is, and this is exactly what you want to see. It did go to the 10-day, but like I said, it bounced on Thursday and Friday when the market actually kind of weak, right? So this is good, and we are very close to highs again. So this is quite impressive how close we are to the high. So so as I mentioned, the market has been weak, but the growth stocks are actually showing, at least the ones at the top are showing quite good strength, most of them. So this is another good example of that. See Live and Carvana rank 2 and 3. Good gains since the lows of April 7, 90 and 81% here, both still in uptrend because they're above their short-term moving average. Next we have Duo. So for Duo, you can see it's trading very tight here. It pulls back to the 10-day as well. Right now it's just sitting near that 10-day. Hasn't make a move yet, at least, but it hasn't fallen below it. So this is another one that is showing strength compared to the index we just saw on Nasdaq. Because Nasdaq is again below 10-day, but this one is still above 10-day, showing a sideways movement right now. It's just holding, so it looks really good. CRDO, you can see it did touch the 10-day on Friday, very slightly, very tight movement as well, very tight movement as well so far, and it bounced and closed, much above the 10-day line. So that's another positive here. CLS, this one also showing lots of strength. You can see this week the market has been falling, but look at the relative strength. And that's because, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were all up days. And you can see we already broke the new high, so very impressive. VRT, SITM in downtrend. It is pulling back. This is the second time pull back right now. So we'll see if it can find support at the lows here. It is below the 10-day moving average. It's also worth it. It's also pulling back, and you can see it has pulled back to the 10-day, and it barely it's just sitting near the 10-day line right now. This one is trading really tight. Also good action. You can see previous tight action here before a big bounce. So we're hoping for something similar right here. So this stock, just like the index, we went up, pretty much from the bottom here, and now it's digesting. And this one is in digesting for longer than others now. It's almost like 10 trading sessions here, just going sideways. It hasn't really make a low yet compared on this digestion, which is kind of good. But right now it's just sitting, slightly below the 10-day. So that's following the index performance here. ETON in uptrend number 8, and SCI also in uptrend. We also have XMTR here within 1% range of the short-term moving average. So let me jump to the chart. So ETON here, we saw some volatility here as it tries to break out, and that's mainly due to earnings digestion here. And then after that, it was able to like hold the lows here above the 10-day, and that looks really good. And then it start to move up, and then again on Friday, market weakness, we see it pull back, and look at that, it hasn't pulled back much at all, right? Like it's very tight action. It's holding the lows here, much above the 10-day. Very strong action here. SCI Solaris Energy Chemical Specialty. This one just started moving this week and it came onto my list. Look at the volume on Thursday and on Friday follow through. Really strong. It is slightly extended now from the 10-day, but because this one is new on the list, it's in the $27 right now. So this could be, have some volatility. It does have bigger range here. You can see when it moves. So just be aware of that. But it does have a previous up run, and that could, be something that could happen here as well. Yeah, in the machinery area has also been an impressive start. Look at this uptrend here on the 10-day moving average, very strong. And look at this last tightness here. The lows doesn't really, try not to touch the 10-day right there. And then right now we did pull back pretty hard and touch the 10-day. So but it did bounce on Friday, so that's a good close there. Again, it did make a new high, but it closed pretty much near the top, pretty close to it. So here, Bumble, KRMN, all in kind of slight downtrend right now. So here's Palantir. We see this trend line forming, and it's just actually holding Wednesday's low. So that's a good sign so far. Thursday and Friday, but it didn't make any big move at all. Like it just went sideways. So at least it did close like kind of positive on both days and hold Wednesday low. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. But this is a ordinary pullback, I would say, not too crazy sharp pullback like the earnings gap down here. So something to watch. Here's Bumble. Bumble, fell on this gap down. I'm not sure what the news is, but there's something news there. And then earnings here didn't really do much, and it finally formed this. And then we came out of this earnings report here, and it started to move up, and then it finally pulled back to the 10-day. And look at this, it's trading really tight above the 10-day. It's probably hard to see on your end, but it is trading very tight, sitting above the 10-day, just slightly. Right now it's just near the 10-day right now. So it's just holding very tight. Let's look at intraday. They did close weak though on Friday, so that's the only negative here, and that's that. Secure MN Carmen is in the aerospace defense. This one has moved up quite significantly from the lows here and make new highs. And this is the IPO stock recently. And you see this pullback downtrend is very steep as well. So something to be aware of right now. It is just sitting near the 10-day again, like just right below it, just a little bit. But again, the slope is pretty steep. So we'll see if it can bounce or not. IREN both in uptrend right now. So here's a nice 10-day moving average on symbolic here, moving up nicely. We did find support here on the pullback recently, and it bounced off it pretty strong on Thursday, and Friday it gave back a little bit, so not too bad. Volume is not too crazy, so it looks pretty good for this one. IREN is another one, 10-day slope here, and it moves up pretty strong, like much stronger than the market, and you see the relative strength line going up pretty good. And on Friday it did come back down, but at least it closed at the upper range. So again, still way above the 10-day. It looks really good. I'm not gonna go through every stock, but I'll mention the list here, and then we'll pick and choose which one we want to talk about, especially the ones that show strength. ALG, MSMTC, both pulling back. Arlo app also pulling back. People's watch list or trading list. So here it pulling back, pretty ordinary. But Friday it kind of gapped down pretty hard below the 10-day, but it did reverse and close near that line. So this is it didn't. This could be a good thing. Again, Fridays we saw lots of reversals, and even like this stock, it actually reversed and closed positive, just slightly, not too much. So we go look at this. Right here is the previous day's close. It did close positive above it. So we are still far above, like far from like Thursday's high, but at least it did bounce back and hold that closing intraday high. 22 CECO is still in uptrend. STX and SE both in uptrend, making new highs on Friday. Computer data storage. This one has shown tremendous strength. Look at this bounce on the 10-day moving average right there. It did pull back this week, but look at Thursday's volume. Came back in much higher volume on the bounce back right there, and Friday it followed through. and now we are getting so close to this traditional buy point here. Very impressive. This one also quite impressive. Here's the uptrend line right here. It kind of went sideways here, pulled back to the 10-day, and then bounced. And then now it went sideways again. Instead of falling hard, it went sideways again. Look at this. We found another bounce on Friday off the 10-day. Very strong move and make like actually new intraday highs. Yeah, very strong. Like we are pretty close to the previous high here. Mention not too many stocks are in uptrend no more. A lot of them are sitting near it or below it, and so we're gonna start to see more downtrend stocks going forward here. Our CRS still within 1%. SHAK still in uptrend, so this one also quite still impressive. Done really well. As you can see here, the 10-day moving average was going up really strong here. The ends coming in with accumulation signs, and then we went sideways after the being extended, and you can see the lows here are forming, like lots of support at this low, and then Friday we were able to bounce off it again near the 10-day, and yeah, very strong close. We have Dell within 1%, MYRG slightly pulling back. Then we have Moss in uptrend still. Mosaic in the chemicals agriculture area. This one also showing lots of strength. Um, Very strong 10-day moving average line. We did have one pullback here. That was the last time we bounced, and that was a buying opportunity there. And then here it went up, and then we have pullback. And right now we didn't really touch the 10-day at all. So very strong bounce on Friday as well. If we continue to see the bounce, this may be another buy opportunity. Let's look at weekly chart. This one has come down for a long time, so now it's making a very powerful move. So of course it looks extended from the red line, which is the 10-day moving average. But short term it looks pretty good here because of that bounce. But we'll see if this again next week. We have no idea whether the market will continue to fall apart. And I think once the market start to fall more, it could accelerate in terms of falling, right? So that's something to be aware of. But if it can hold and stocks just, especially growth stocks like this are just more going sideways than coming down, that's a good sign. In a way, a positive day because a lot of growth stocks, at least some of the ones at the top here, are not falling apart. They bounce back. But we're still in a downtrend, right? Make no mistake, we are still in a downtrend until we can bounce back above this downtrend line very decisively. I would still be very cautious at this moment. Here we have BDSG in downtrend, Cohere downtrend, Avago downtrend, ARWR downtrend. So all these are pulling back. Road and AT&T are still in uptrend. Looking at road construction parts here, it came up really strong right here, and then it kind of went sideways. And again, this pattern is seems more common than it is not because we've seen a few now stocks that kind of pull back, but they don't really want to fall below the 10-day. They just kind of go sideways, finding support at those lows. And again, we saw that support here again on Friday. Very short bounce, very impressive, and much higher than Thursday's. And I think, yeah, it came pretty close to Wednesday's high too. So this is very, very impressive. AT&T, this is Chinese stock, a tour lifestyle holding here, in the hotel chain area. Also bounced pretty good, then came sideways, found another bounce here, then it moves up, and then found another big bounce here, trying to break out. And on Friday, it didn't give up much, 1% only give up, so that's very impressive. And it closed at the top part of the range too. Six ranking Tesla in downtrend right now slightly. Um, we covered that in a market recap video. Please watch that. Light also in downtrend. CVI just kind of near the short-term moving average. TEM coming down. HWM still in uptrend. Looking at this stock, HWM Helmet Aerospace in the aerospace defense. This one come up quite a bit. Look at how many blue days there are, and there's a couple here. Then we saw another couple there pulling back here. Look at the volume on the pullback, much lower, right? And then on Thursday and Friday we found support, and Friday it bounced very fast. Now we're near the new highs again. So this kind of stocks where it just doesn't want to come down, and not only that, it bounced back so strong. That's exactly the kind of stock you want to follow. because they could show tremendous strength on this market pullback this time. PZ, APG, all kind of pulling back, grind in 1%. PHC, MELI, AEIS, again pulling back downtrend. GE still in uptrend. EXTR, TOS, KD, those are all pulling back. Netflix recover, very strong stock right now. I'm so impressed with this stock. We covered that in the market recap video. Please watch that. We have MU now after all pulling back. Twilio, MTSI, IoT, pulling back. AVPD, downtrend. Nvidia we covered in the main market video as well. SNCY, SNs all pulling back. Then we have ERO and TIGO here, both kind of make new high on Friday. Mining ores, Canadian company in copper. Very interesting. Like look at this bounce here. It went sideways and then it pulled back and found support at the 21 day and then it bounced since. And then after that it's been riding the 10-day nicely. We are very close to making new high right now. Actually it did just by a couple of cents on Friday. Next we have TT kind of pulling back, RCL pulling back, MNST, GTLS, SoFi. Then we have APEI and AU, both still in an uptrend. So this is American Public Education. A little bit choppy for sure. There's lots of volatility in this stock. But since that, one day choppiness here, we've been bouncing nicely. It pulls back here on much lower volume right down there. You can see much lower volume and lots of accumulation happening above average volume. Very good. So we're seeing a double bottom base forming in the gold bullion price, and a lot of stocks are following that formation right now. And so we're seeing this double bottom bounce right now. Yeah, it looks this one's probably the strongest one, I think. Pretty good, and it did come out of that. But again, we need to see if we can come out of the main high here. Or will it just kind of fall back down? We'll see. I'm not sure. But so far this one has been bouncing nicely. Within 1%, TSM, Affirm, PFSS, PODD all still pulling back. ATGE, ITT, downtrend. Intuit reported this week and jumped quite a bit. So this is a huge base. I mean, like a really sharp downturn here. Then we see more choppiness here. And then we finally start to bounce. And then we come up here on the right side. As we come up, we're seeing that it's trading really tight right here. And then it goes up a little bit more and then it trade really tight. And then the earnings gap up was very strong. Yeah, now it's broken out and it was able to close not too bad, not in the upper range, but at least it didn't come below the buy point here. So very strong here. Next we have RAM and ZLAB, both still in uptrend. So RAM gap up on earnings here. It did pull back pretty hard on Friday, 7.7%. So, but we'll see how the 10-day moving average shake up here as it comes back. Next we have ARES, RUVG, both still pulling back. FN, this one's in uptrend. So trading very tight right now, holding up above all the short-term moving averages and even the black line, which is 200-day moving averages. So looks pretty good. Next we have CPA here. CPA also bouncing pretty nice on 10-day. We pull back to it and bounce off that very strongly. So again, trying to break out very soon here. Next we have Bilibili, a Chinese stock here in the internet area, and it's again trying to come out of this short-term trading line here, which is the red line, and some of the short-term 10, 21 day too. They're all converging, which is a good sign. And it's just holding up and it's just trying really hard to break out right now. Maybe this time will work. We'll see. And ETN, SKY, WD, ALKT, LB, all in downtrend. We have XYZ and Spot in uptrend right now, holding up really nice on the short term. It's just going sideways after this run. Looks really good. Here's Spotify. We came out of this double bottom base, but it fell very quickly, and then we bounced, and then we fell back to the 21 day, very choppy, right? The stock, and then we bounced again, and now we fell back to the 21 day again. And looks like it's trying to bounce again. So next we have Microsoft in downtrend. We covered that in the main market video. Chef also pulling back. AMX kind of in uptrend. USFD within 1%. ESC Q2 downtrend. PLMR trying to bounce back here. TPBK, S Sharp, Citigroup, all these are kind of pulling back. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through all the stocks. Feel free to check it out on your own time. But I'll highlight maybe a couple more here. Dash. So this one, Dash found support at the 10-day on Friday, so it bounced back pretty strong. It's really good. A ranked 122 here. Also making new highs. We also see ADSK, DSGX here. So GVA here pulling back to the 10-day. And then it bounced on Friday, closing at new recent high. Very strong granite consumption here. ADSK, it did reverse after the gap up gap earnings here, but it still closed positive, but it's a pretty bad reversal here. So we'll see what happens. We have Descartes Systems Group, DSGX. This one looking very nice, making new intraday high on Friday in the software enterprise. You can see mostly downtrend now. We have PM here, TFPM here still holding up, COOP holding up, TTM. We have BFAM here. Then we see NOAA, FNV, GFI, so some gold stocks, Rengo, GKOS, TDG in the aerospace defense. We see Planet Fitness here, TW, let's see here, NFG holding out. We see EXE, ADAS, ECL, Monster. So some of this could be bouncing back from the bottom, but again, we're seeing lots of downtrend stocks here at the bottom. A lot of them just really getting weaker. Let me see this one, B mining gold stock. You can see it's trying to bounce back right now. So that's what's happening there. For watching this video, as we mentioned earlier, summary here is that many stocks have turned into a downtrend and just surprised how fast it's happening all within 1 week. And so this is, needs to be time to be cautious because if we do fall apart, this stocks could accelerate downward the fastest because they're growth stocks. They tend to go up, better than normal when it's in the uptrend, but it also go down a lot faster when it's in a downtrend. So, we did see some positive signs on Friday with the bounce on some of these growth stocks. But still, we need to be cautious. I did mention in the main market video that the IBD Innovative 50 ETF actually showing some strength as well, which is very surprising. So again, the top 50 stocks here, based on this index, are doing a lot better than other index, right? So you can see here it bounced, and then like this week we didn't go down at all. We actually did really well, surprisingly. So if this is a sign of what's good to come, then this will be a good sign. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you like and subscribe. Until next time, and if you want to follow me on live stream every day, I do it in the morning for a little short time. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.